Hello, everybody,
Hello.
and welcome to Cinephilia. We are experiencing really kind of weird network issues. Seems to be okay. Oh, nope, there goes the red. And
Yeah,
that's back to green.
I don't know
So,
what's happening.
our network's going up and down. Bear with us. This doesn't seem gooder. No, it's not gooder. Oh, network issues.
Why?
So, how is it for you guys? Sorry, we're distracted because I'm staring at the network health, and it keeps going up and down, up and down, and up and down.
It's fluctuating, and we want to make sure everything's okay.
Okay.
Are you guys saying everything okay? Are we glitchy or slow, or let us know?
Anybody? Anybody got any? Well, it seems like we're doing okay. So, hello, welcome to Cinephilia. Was choppy for a bit. Yeah, I think it's staying good right now. If for some reason it really goes bad, we'll go ahead and we'll go off, restart the system, and we'll be back in like 3 minutes. So if we do go off completely, bear with us. We'll be right back. It seems to be fine now. So we're gonna talk about today. We're doing animated movies, but non-Disney because
animated movies.
Because Disney takes up so much of the animated world, that if you just take them out of the picture, there's so much more to talk about. Because they have made a bunch of really good stuff over the years, and a lot of people are very familiar with them. So I think maybe we can hit a couple of things that maybe you guys might not know of, or maybe haven't seen or heard of, and maybe you want to hear about them. But that's where we're gonna go today.
We both have a top 10 list that or actually, it's more than 10. We couldn't narrow it down to 10.
Top 17
list that we're going to go through.
We might have to like power through a few of them, but we're going to stop and talk a few of them, and some of them will definitely overlap, I'm sure. Cool. So before we want to let's do the news first. Let's talk about the news. A few things happened in the news in the last week. What do you want to talk about first?
Whichever.
First thing in the news that I thought was interesting. Oh, intro music is very loud compared to the other audio. Got it. I think because I don't know, but I will double check that. It shouldn't be. We want to talk about the Oscars. So Oscars happened last week. And one of the things that was kind of there was a lot of things in the Oscars there's always something weird, there's always drama, well, whatever. But one of the things that we thought we wanted to talk about, it was the in memoriam issue that happened this past week, where it felt like there was a lot of people who were left out of the in memoriam segment of the thing, and a lot of people have kind of spoken out about it, and want to see what you guys take on it was.
I was surprised to hear about this because I didn't watch the Oscars last week because we were streaming, and I actually didn't go back and watch the in memoriam clip, so I did not realize that so many people had been left off. But then Art brought it to my attention today, and
so some of the people.
Why would people be left off?
Yeah, some of them are some of them. Well, let's talk about the one that's, hey, thank you, Glasswell, for the subscription.
Yes.
Wait, let me back up before we start the show. So if you guys didn't hear, we made our goal for 75 average viewers for partnership.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
We got our check mark on the path to partnership. Our achievements for path to partnership are complete.
So thanks for watching so much over the past month.
Yes, thank you so much. All you guys' support and help has helped us out this month. We snuck by just the very end. It was great. We are submitted applications, so now we're just gonna wait. Hopefully, partnership works out, and then we can keep going forward. So yes, thank you very much for all of that, and we'll keep you guys posted on that, and then we'll let you know when we hear back from Twitch. It may or may not happen. I know that the application process, it does take sometimes people a handful of times to apply, but we applied in October of last year, and we're definitely not nowhere near where we are now. But hopefully that application to this one, they'll be able to see that we definitely improved.
This time we got all the check marks, right?
We got all the check marks. They want your microphone quieter.
Hello. Sorry.
So thank you so much. Okay, back to the in memoriam thing. So one of the things to talk about, let's talk about the one that has an argument, yes or no. Was the fact that Carol Channing was left out.
Okay.
Of the in memoriam. What do you have opinion on that? There's a couple of things that you can say about. Sorry, go ahead.
No, she definitely should have been. Was she? When did she die? What was her?
January 15th of 2019.
So it depends. If they're doing like calendar year, then she should be on the one for next year. But if they're doing it by
between
shows, then she should have been included on this one. There's plenty of time to include her. I don't know how early they get the in memoriam video done. That might be a factor.
It's a slideshow,
but
you could literally fix it the day before.
You're right. You are absolutely right.
So that's one of the arguments that she died in 19. But I'm pretty sure, as my memory recalls, they always say people who we've lost in the last year, meaning from show to show. And it's weird that they left her out. And granted, she was more of a Broadway theater person, but she did have a lot to do in Hollywood and industry. She was part of all that, so it is weird that she would be left out.
That was one thing I was thinking, was maybe because they considered her more of a stage performer than a movie performer, but she's definitely in the movies, and people know her from movies as well as the stage. So
yeah, especially when it only takes. If your argument is like, well, maybe not, she kind of was. It's 3 seconds on a slideshow. Like, there's no reason to leave her out. And I think somebody influential like her should have been left in. Right?
Do you think that were there a lot of people that were left out? Because maybe if there were a lot of people, then those 3 seconds do add up. But it's weird. Why would you not include people in the in memoriam feels very important.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think there's really a good excuse really to leave people out.
One of the other people who I thought was very odd that they left out was Dick Miller, who is who's been an actor in Hollywood for years. He was the dad in Gremlins. He was
not the dad. He was a neighbor.
He was the neighbor. That's right. Sorry, the neighbor. Sorry, I'm trying to bring up a picture of him.
He was in Gremlins 2.
He was in Gremlins 2. I mean, he's been in so many movies.
Yeah, even if you don't know him by name, if you look him up, then you'll definitely recognize him. His face has been in so many movies.
I'm gonna see if I can. We're trying out something new, and I did it wrong, but we're gonna do it anyways.
Arsenal Roy says Dick Miller was so good in The Burbs. Yes. I haven't seen The Burbs in a long time. Wow.
Hold on, let me.
We're trying to get some pictures up so that you can actually see things that we're talking about.
And I decided it'd be easier for my phone, but guess what? It's not easier for my phone. Lesson learned.
How did you do it before? You've done this before.
I have, but I figured we're going to show a lot of things. Well, because we're going to show a lot of things. So that's him. So if you guys have seen him, he's been in a ton of movies. He's been around for a long time, and that was really weird that he got left out of that. I don't see any argument for him being left out. I think him being left out is a big deal, and I don't understand.
I assume that both he and Carol Channing were part of the Academy, like registered voters in the Academy, because that's also a thing, is whether or not they're actually a part of the Academy Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Some people get left out because they're not a part of it, but anyone that's in the movies should be, like in mainstream big movies like this. I can't imagine Carol Channing wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. So that's gonna be something. Other person who was left out, who you could argue it, but I still think he was part of Hollywood and should have been there. It was Vern Troyer, who died in April of last year.
Mini me.
Oh, hold on. Hardliner has the thing. Artists and I found out about how the memoriam is decided. They would be a committee made up of Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences who sift through a list of about 300 submissions and decide yay or nay who makes a cut. Depending on their contribution to the filmmaking, roughly 40 up and being included in film, which is created weeks in advance at the Oscars. Makes sense. So yeah, which is kind of what we're thinking too, that there's a limit. But
so if they think that they're like Carol Channing's, definitely her contribution definitely sides more towards stage than screen. So that might have been their deciding. Like I wouldn't have loved to have her as part of Memoriam. Vern, maybe not as big of a contribution.
Yeah, you can if he had been there, you'd been like, oh yeah, he's been in movies. That makes sense, and he's kind of famous. But if he's left out, I'm not like, wow, that was weird. Like, I think Dick Miller is really weird that they left him out.
Yeah.
Vern Troy, I'm like, he wasn't the biggest, but he was there.
Is that supposed to be some kind of joke?
Oh, walk. That wasn't. And then there was a bunch of other people that I don't know specifically.
Arsenal Roy says Reg E. Kathy was another bummer to leave off the memoriam.
I don't know who that is
I don't
by
either.
name. So, and I feel, I'm gonna guess because I've never really thought about it before, but I feel like every year that this probably happens, right?
Yeah.
Where we complain
There's
about
always going to be, like, you can't please everyone. You can't please 100% of the people 100% of the time. So
Yeah.
there's always going to be someone upset that someone was left off.
And I think this year particularly was because of Carol Channing and Dick Miller. There were two big recognizable names that I think were left out for whatever reason. And so that I think it's shown a little bit bigger. And I do wish that they wouldn't make this list as it should be done pretty soon.
Yeah.
It's not a hard slideshow to make.
Well, and also the thing with the Academy Awards this year is that they were just making fuck ups all along. Planning up,
the whole thing was a
leading
little
up
bit
to
of a mess.
this, like, they couldn't decide on a host. They wanted to drop categories from the telecast.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. This year seemed a little unorganized to begin with. So that might have played a part as well.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm fixing things. Cool. Hey, Cousin Hood, you're late. That's okay. We're having issues in the beginning.
Yeah, all you've missed is some lag.
Yeah, some lag.
Us dropping video and having to restart.
Okay, so let's move on from that. That wasn't that big a deal, but it was just really weird. And I feel like we'll probably talk about this next year. We'll see it again if we're still doing Cinephilia. Well, I'm sure we will be. I don't know.
We may have run out of all the topics
movies
by then.
So the other big news that this week, I think this is the bigger news of this week, is Steven Spielberg.
Yes, this is related to the Oscars too.
The related Oscars too. Steven Spielberg pushing to not allow Netflix movies or to be viewed by the Oscars, to be allowed to be put in the Oscars and to be treated like movies. Yeah, I think what he said basically was that he thinks that movies that are meant for television deserve awards and everything, but they should maybe go to the Emmys.
Yeah.
He doesn't consider watching a movie on a TV screen the same experience as watching a film on the screen, which I love Steven Spielberg, but I don't particularly agree with the sentiment. I do agree that watching a movie on a screen at home is a different experience than watching a movie in the theater.
Yes.
It is a different experience, but I don't think it negates the content of a film.
Yes.
Or the technical achievements or any of that. It's just the way the movie is consumed has nothing to do with the actual movie.
Yeah.
I feel.
And I agree with you and not with Spielberg. And on top of that, Spielberg said something along the lines of he doesn't think that movies that are put into a theater on a limited run just to get a just to be eligible for the Oscars or these other awards should be like, that shouldn't be a thing. Movies shouldn't be able to just do that. And he's obviously targeting Netflix with a comment like that.
Yeah.
Because they do put movies in the theater to make sure that they get the eligibility to be nominated, even though they are shown more on television.
Yeah, like they shouldn't have to do that to be nominated, to be recognized.
No, I don't mind if they do that, but if Steven Spielberg wants to pick a problem with that, with the fact that studios do that to get eligibility for nominations, then that's going to mess up a lot of foreign movies and also a lot of independent movies. It's not just Netflix that does that. Some movies that just won't get wide release will get, a quick push into a theater just so that they, will get nominated, even though it might not be like a mainstream movie or a movie that a huge amount of audiences will go to see. It might be a movie that is still like that Oscar caliber.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
something like Roma. I mean, really, Spielberg.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell me Roma was not deserving of
recognition,
at least a nomination?
Yeah. Arsenal Roy 2K says, I think there's legit stuff to criticize Netflix for, but a new avenue to get filmmakers' works out there is not one of them. Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
It doesn't really matter where you're watching the film. it's the film is the product, not where you're watching it. And I do think that it's weird for somebody like Spielberg, who I think has been kind of a forward thinker and like very open about filmmaking and all stuff, to all of a sudden have this perspective to me is really weird. And it's a lot of older filmmakers have had that. And I think he's just one of the bigger ones who's really gone out there right now and say
I agree that it's weird, but it also is very telling that it feels like he might be a little worried that some of this new blood in filmmaking is gonna show him up.
Yeah. And it's fine, Spielberg. You've done a bunch of stuff. You're good.
Yeah, Spielberg, if you're making good movies, which you usually do, I'm not going to get into Ready Player One, but usually your movies...
Whoa. Keep going, sorry.
Usually your movies are great and they get nominated. So if you're making good movies, don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Make your good movie.
So Spielberg, if you're watching this...
I'm talking to you, Spielberg.
To you, Spielberg, directly.
This is to you.
Yeah, and I think there's been other... I can't remember off the top of my head. There's other big... I feel like James Cameron said some similar things.
James Cameron is always...
Yeah,
he's always a problem. He makes good movies, but he's always a problem.
But yeah, so I'm really surprised. I hope that they don't listen. For the first time, I never thought I would say this, that they do not listen to Spielberg and tell him to just sit down and go keep making movies. And let's just move on, because the movie industry has to evolve. The movie industry has to change.
Yes.
And part of why in the last 10 or so years, movie industry has been struggling a whole bunch because their lack of moving forward. You know.
Yes.
They're not moving forward. They want to stick to this one way of doing it, and it's not. You can't do that forever. Your consumer is changing the way they see movies, and it's okay.
Yep.
And it's fine. We still like going to movie theaters. But, you know, that idea that just keep doing it the same isn't going to always work. So.
Speaking of going to movie theaters, I finally signed up for the AMC.
Oh, you did?
Thing. So I can go to the movies again. Now that I was waiting, because I got rid of my Movie Pass. I was sick of dealing with Movie Pass. And I was waiting for movies that I actually wanted to see to start coming out to sign up. So I've signed up, and now that movies are coming out I want to see. I've been... One plus, because that was the main thing that made me hesitant about getting AMC to begin with, was that my closest AMC is a bus ride away. And since the movies are you can watch 3 movies a week, I found out that I could actually catch my bus, watch 3 movies in one day for that week. Out of the way. Yeah, you can watch 3 movies a day with this program, which you obviously couldn't do anything like that with Movie Pass.
I really wish movie theaters had like early showings. If you could show me a movie at 7 in the morning.
7 in the morning?
Oh my god. Because then I wouldn't
have... 11 o'clock showing, like noon, just before noon showing is early enough for me.
It's great, but like I have to work and I have to do things today. If I could wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna watch a movie, run to the movie theater, be back home by like 9:30, and then get my day started, I would have a wonderful time. I would feel so good.
How early do you usually get up?
I usually get up.
What's your average?
Average is like 7:30.
Wow.
But I could easily wake up at 6:30. Put some clothes on, run to the movie theater, watch a movie at 7. It wouldn't waste part of my day. If I have to go to the movie theater in the middle of the day, I waste a huge chunk of my day.
What about late at night?
I'm usually done by late at night.
See, we're just the opposite. I would go late at night, like very last showing of the night or something like that. There's no way. Like I'm usually in bed for an hour maybe when you're waking up. I can't go there early.
Melly Mutt says college kids that work at the movie theater hate you and your ideas are. You know, maybe
that's true. No one's going to get up and work there early.
What if they had one theater that had like a key entrance or like a little passy entrance, and you'd have to pay for that, and the movie just ran itself, so you just kind of beep yourself in and walked in, watched your movie, and left, and they hired one guy to keep an eye on it.
Do you know how many perverts would go into that theater and make a mess?
You know what? If they stay over there and over there, whatever. Best thing that's ever happened is the not discontinuing, but like midnight showings that are no longer midnight showings, that you can watch the premiere movie at 7 p.m. Yeah. That's the best thing in the world. Because that was hard. Like it was fine for Star Wars because there was like 300 nerds,
but not like something like Lord of the Rings, where you have to. Like your movie is
starting
like at 1 a.m. and you have to stay up for like 3 hours. No way.
But yeah, so that was it for news, right?
Was it? It seemed like there was something else.
I don't remember.
I don't know. We've got a lot of trailers.
We got a lot of trailers to watch, so we're gonna move on.
Trailers because we still got a lot of movies to actually talk about too.
Mitchie says, "What did college kids ever do to you, hardliner?" And he said, "Talk loudly during movies." It's true.
Because I'm gonna say, listen, Will, we don't like to be called perverts.
Oh, yeah, and they do talk through movies, and you know what? But talking through movies and doing cell phones is not strictly to college kids. It's just people in general.
Unfortunately, that's true.
Well, the cell phone thing is going to be becoming an issue. I don't mind if for some reason you think that you have to check your phone, but if you do this and you put it away, I get it. People have things, but it's fine. But it's
within reason.
If you like, oh shit, I got a message.
You can't look at it like every 5 minutes.
No, but yeah, like if it buzzes, you're like, who's this? Okay, got it. But it's the people who are like sitting there and they're doing this. Or like if you're gonna do that, can you just at least turn the brightness down on your phone?
Yeah.
Because if you turn it down all the way to the minimum, you can still see it, and I probably won't notice it. We're fine. Why don't you just do that? Anyways, we're wasting time.
Yeah, I just turn my phone off altogether.
Yeah, I usually turn my phone off, throw it in a bag. I usually I take all the stuff out of my pockets, I give it to Amber to put in her purse, and I'm great.
So going to a movie with you is an ordeal.
It's an ordeal. I tap my phone to like turn my watch, turn it off. It's great.
All right, let's get into trailers.
Let's get trailers.
We got a lot of trailers.
We got a lot of trailers to watch. Why am I repeating what you're saying?
There are a lot of interesting movie trailers came out this week, so we're gonna go through a couple.
Some of these you guys see. Oh, and thank you guys for posting trailers to our
Yeah, Hardliner, you're rocking that Discord.
Yeah, that Discord. Thank you. I really appreciate it. My Amber's in the chat. She's watching.
Amber's in the chat, and she agrees that you are an ordeal to go see movies with.
All right, you got your headphones?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. This is the first trailer. I'm sure all of you have watched it. I watched it. Will has not.
I have not seen this one.
But I will watch it again because I'm really excited about this movie.
I woke up with a heavy case of amnesia in the middle of nowhere. The only clue to my past is Harry's name.
Let me know if it's loud enough for you guys.
This hat. So I made my way to the apartment, and that's when I found you and your stapler gun.
Stop talking! You're a hallucination!
You're a hallucination.
He's so cute.
So you're a talking Pikachu with no memories who's addicted to caffeine.
I can stop whenever I want. These
Oh, Lord.
are just choices. Another round, extra shot. Back is night. Thank you, sweetie. Maybe Harry got it. Mix up the wrong crowd, that kind of thing. Look, you can talk to humans. I can talk to Pokemon.
There, made it better.
And if you want to find your pops, we're gonna need each other.
No, I don't need a Pokemon.
What about a world-class detective? Ah, my clues!
What is all this?
Harry is still alive. Case closed.
80s soundtrack.
But still open until I solve it.
Let me know if that's okay now.
All right, here it is. Harry faked his own death. Or somebody else faked Harry's death. Or Harry faked somebody else's death. That last one doesn't work at
No.
all.
Like a whole generation.
Yep. That's a cool movie.
Now, obviously, I've dealt with this punch before, so I'll just do it again.
Hey, bud. What are you doing?
I can't do it when people are watching. Get me the hell out of here!
Oh, it's Mewtwo.
That's a twist. That's very twisty.
Get him! He's barely moving.
Don't tell him that. Oh, he's on a bike. Quick, get in front of him.
Stop.
Oh, no. He's going down hard, Tim. Should have worn a helmet.
That's silly.
That's great.
So there I was.
So what do you think?
So I have to be honest. I'm slightly above the age where that grabbed Pokemon when it first came out.
No, you
So I'm
weren't.
not-
You just weren't paying attention when it came out. Because we're the same age.
We are the same age, but I like.
Also,
you're,
but okay,
you're a
maybe.
little-
I was
little
watching
less
Power Rangers in
mature
middle
than me.
school. I was all about Power Rangers in 7th grade. And maybe I was a little too old for that.
I totally did not get on the Pokemon bandwagon. Although I always thought they were cute and cool. Like I never had anything against it. But this movie really looks like a lot of fun. Like it looks.
Yeah. I really like the sorry, Megal Basement says, did you see the Ryan Reynolds getting into the role of Pikachu vid? It's a minute long on Ryan Reynolds' YouTube channel.
I have not seen that.
I might have to check that.
I will check that out too.
I really like the style. It reminds me a lot of Chinese movies, the type of visual effects where they're not going for hyper realism.
Yeah.
They're going for like a styled realism, which makes those characters feel they look like a cartoon, but they look like they're in the real world.
Right.
And I really like that it's not this look of super realism, and even like the Earth and stuff. It's very just like, let's go super stylized and ridiculous. And I think it works really well for this movie. And it's awesome that they didn't just put do a movie with Ash Ketchum again. It's in the world of Pokemon. We have brand new Pokemon. This isn't the regular Pikachu that you know from the Pokemon cartoons. This is a whole other Pikachu.
And it's based on a video game.
A video game, yeah. Detective Pikachu. So I think it's going to be really fun. And it's obviously not taking itself seriously. It's going to be super silly and fun.
No, it's not taking itself seriously.
Which is great. And all the Pokemon look great.
Yeah, they do. They all look adorable. Even Mr. Mime is creepy as hell. Like, he's always been creepy as hell. But
he's funny.
Looks cool in this.
Cool. Let's move on to the next trailer.
The next one. This is a trailer that I have seen, and
I have not seen this. This is the new Red Band trailer for
Hellboy.
For Hellboy. So any kids watching, ask your parents' permission.
To bed.
Steven Spielberg, if you're still watching, you're fine.
Oh, so red.
Is it bloody or sexy? Why is it red?
On an island off the coast of Scotland, something was summoned from the depths of hell. Something that would end mankind.
And this thing you worried about, did it show up?
Oh, yes. You did.
We face every threat there is, and yet you take me in. Hello, son. You made me a goddamn weapon.
Where's my fucking violin?
Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Out there's a 5th century sorceress who wants to bring down the curtain on London and the world.
Great. Homework.
Why do you fight for those who hate and fear you? You are meant for this. Out of the ashes, new Eden will emerge.
Okay, I'd appreciate a prophecy with more relatable stakes.
Haven't we got to be saving the world or something?
Yeah, okay.
I've accepted it, but it's still not. His face is still not.
Yeah, come on, let's do this.
Yes. You do look like Yes, it's just ridiculous. I love it.
We belong together, you and I.
We do, but this is not gonna work, because I'm a Capricorn and you're fucking nuts!
Oh, is that why it's a Red Band trailer?
We got two fucking.
Oh, yeah. I'm down for it.
It looks fun. But you still have problems with the makeup.
I'm gonna get over it. I'm just gonna be one of the things like, we're gonna agree to disagree. It's just not gonna be my thing, but yeah. I will still enjoy the movie. Megal Basement says this Hellboy trailer changed my mind on this film. The first one looked like a Netflix show. I also kind of hope he fails. I want to see the sorcerers in the meter. It's good one. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't read that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a great reading of that text.
I'm usually the thing about first trailers is that a lot of times you're getting unfinished. They're like, let's see what footage we can do, whatever visual effects we can get up quickly. So first trailer is usually not a good representation. Yeah. But this just looks good. I do like. It's weird because they feels like they took the past Hellboy movies and said, let's not completely ignore them because they did some things right, and they took some of the style from them. They were like, just keep doing what they did right.
I can see that.
There's really no reason to reinvent the wheel fully. Obviously they're gonna do new things, so it's good to do that, but let's keep some of the stuff that worked and let's keep doing. At the same time, they also took some of the good things that let's toss those out the window because there's a massive amount of CG that Hellboy, the old Hellboys did really well, was using a lot of practical effects and then supplementing them with CG, which is great. I feel I'm a little over CG'd on the thing, but if it's a good movie and I'm entertained, I will probably forget. But if it doesn't keep me entertained, it's gonna be hard for me to ignore all the CG.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm looking forward to it.
But yeah, I'm still gonna watch it. I'm definitely gonna go see this in theaters and this does feel like you need to watch Spielberg. Yes, this one you should probably watch in the movie theaters.
Well, that wasn't coming to Netflix. He wasn't upset.
Somebody give Spielberg a sub.
Oh, this is a trailer I'm excited for because this movie has been in the works for
like 20 years?
A long time, and it's finally happening.
Yes, like mid-80s, right?
Something like that. Like a ridiculous amount of time.
And it's finally done.
It's finally done, and it's finally coming out.
It's not fitting one right. Oh, no. Okay, I'll fix that.
Your head's so big.
Your head's so big.
It's my hair.
This is the trailer for The Man Who Killed Don Quixote.
To restore the lost age of chivalry.
And you guys can see it. Now you can see it.
And cut right there. Good work. I want to drop something by this. Why? Because it isn't working?
Because my client isn't happy.
Because the whole concept is ridiculous.
You are Don Quixote. It's your concept, it's your vision.
I want you to keep an eye on her. Do that for me.
I'm the boss's wife.
Jackie!
I had no idea there was a trailer, by the way, till right before the show.
Aren't you? You crazy peasant. You think you can
I heard that
from me? We shall have
finally nailed down a date for it to release, but I didn't know there was an actual trailer out either.
I am Don Quixote de la Mancha, and I command you to release my squire.
Don Quixote.
Wow.
Now we actually believe he's Don Quixote.
This is going to be fun.
The Don Quixote actor? I can't think
Don Quixote de la Mancha.
Come to restore
Because
the
Mother
lost
hates Adam Driver.
age of chivalry.
Well, I wrote that.
Blasphemer!
Can I read?
A peasant like you cannot read. I will sound the words, and you can look at the pictures.
I really like your big adventures, Don Quixote.
He's probably wet himself. I don't like this.
Why does everything always have to be about you, Sancho? Me.
I am Don Quixote.
That's soon.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's like in a month.
No, stop it. So if you guys don't know about the history of this movie he's attempted to make this movie a bunch of times. I think the first one was the one with the floods. There's been all kinds of things that have like stopped this production since they first started.
Yeah.
There was one where they went out filming, and then all of a sudden there was like torrential rain, and the whole thing got flooded out, and they basically had to cancel the filming. Recently, it was John Hurt who was going to be Don Quixote, and then we're going to start filming that.
I totally see that.
He was going to do that, and then he got cancer, and he was like, can't do the movie anymore.
Yeah.
And this movie's been on and off for 25 years, and it's been this thing where like most people would have given up after the first thing, or maybe tried again and been like, okay, this movie's not getting made. Terry Gilliam has been trying to make this movie for 25 years.
You know what? He's such a visionary director. Like, his movies are so visual that he probably had images in his head that he could not get rid of until he finally made the movie.
Yeah.
So it's probably why he pushed through.
And there's been so many people cast. I think Johnny Depp was going to be Sancho at some point. And
I'm happy that didn't happen.
And so I'm sure he's got this weight off of him. He's like, it's finally done. It's finally
done. Because now that it's finally done, will it actually live up to 25 years?
Yeah, I don't know. I hope so. I hope so, because that's unfortunate.
That
guy.
Yeah, the Don Quixote actor's name is Jonathan Pryce, and you guys know him from lots of stuff. Game of Thrones.
That's right, from Game of Thrones. That's why I'm recognizing him.
He was in Tomorrow Never Dies. He was in the I can't talk. He was in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, a couple of them. So you'd know his face.
Yeah, he's the priest guy in Game of Thrones. He's the Never mind. Moving
on. You guys know.
So the next trailer, we saw the thing for. We had no idea of this movie. It's never saw it.
We saw the title and the fact that there was a trailer, and then there was like a little tag under the title saying "This looks hilarious," and so we're gonna watch it.
Yeah. So it's called the Hail Satan. So we were like, oh, I don't know if we should play this on stream if we've never seen it, because
I wasn't like that. I'm fine.
Well, that's what I was like. I don't want to offend people. But then we started watching it on our own. We got like, what was it, like 5 seconds in, and we're like, okay, we have to watch it. We stopped it, and we're like, we're gonna watch it with everybody else. So you're gonna watch this.
I assume. Should I say what I assume it's about? Or
Yeah,
should I just let it play? I assume that it's a documentary about all of the religious nonsense that was going on with the statue that was being built of Baphomet, from the Church of Satan. So we will see if that's actually what it.
It is not. I totally thought I was going to see something really weird and bad, but I think it's very much kind of funny actually.
It's a beautiful day here at the state capitol. Great day to be a Satanist.
His Maleficent horns.
I believe it, and I'm very excited about it. We're not what you think we are.
Satanic Temple was an idea between a handful of people directly confronting authority.
This makes life fun.
State officials have put up a 10 Commandments monument on government property. Satanists are demanding equal rights.
I am a tax-paying member of Arkansas, and I don't want that there.
They just want to irritate.
The Satanic Temple says you also need to put up our monument to Satanism.
As a Satanist, I believe that confronting injustice is an expression of one's satanic faith.
You see Christian theocracy just creeping itself into our government, and it is our duty to stand up to this.
We want people to evaluate the United States being a Christian nation. It's not. We are supposed to be a nation that doesn't allow the government to dictate what is appropriate religious expression.
Satanists sue Missouri.
If we're being sued by the Satanic Temple,
we gotta be doing something right.
It's our goal to shut down their agenda, which is to bring death and destruction.
You guys are horrible people.
Is this how everyone that's different is treated?
It is out of not only Satanism, but patriotism that I am motivated.
Satanism is looking out for the other, because we are the other.
I am following a code of ethics, having fellowship with brethren. Why can't that be a religion?
We do indeed invoke Satan.
We have gone from 3 people to 50,000.
There's no doubt that this is my life's work.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. Hail Satan.
Those black Satanists.
Hail Satan.
I don't see them very often.
Not bad.
Oh, wait, let's see it again.
Satan.
Question.
Not bad.
All right.
I'm into it.
That sounds interesting.
I'm totally into that.
We'll see.
Hail Satan.
All right, let's get it. I can take this off.
Was that the last trailer?
That was the last trailer.
We got through our trailers, y'all.
We got through our trailers.
We can actually start the show.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna get started. Let me turn this down. We're gonna talk about our animated movies. So we kind of made up what the top. We thought about maybe a top 10. Didn't work out.
Neither one of us can narrow it down.
We're
to
at
10,
top 17.
Top 17.
And I'm only at top 17 because I grouped a couple of movies.
I didn't group any of my movies.
Very generally.
I made sure all of my movies were rated on their own merits. I didn't group any, but so that means Art technically has more than 17 movies that he's.
And also these what do you call them? Rankings are very loose because I think we also had a hard time coming into a ranking. I very generally was like maybe here, maybe here, maybe here.
Yeah, there's some shifting around that could be done on my list that I'd still be happy with, but generally I'm okay with this list.
So Chella Holmes wants to know what's the format of the show. Hey, Cello. Yeah, well, generally of our show, generally we start with some chit chat, and then we do a little bit of news. We talk about news, and then trailers, trailer reaction. Watch some trailers, and then we have a topic that we pick, and then we talk about it for the rest.
And the topic varies. Sometimes it could be like a list of movies, like we're doing today. Sometimes we'll like focus and hone in on one specific movie and give lots of details about it and making of and all that stuff. And sometimes it's about not even a specific movie, but just like a general topic about like, you know, what's happening in the industry or stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's very loose topics usually. What's our definition of animated? Yeah, let's start there.
And anything, we're going for non-Disney animated movies, and for animated, I'm like anything that you would consider animated, like CG, traditional hand-drawn, stop motion, all included.
I don't think we're finicky on the. If you have any opinions of what you think might be anime, that's fine. We don't think there's no hard rule for us.
Yeah.
I'm sure if anybody can make an argument, we could go okay. Because there was one movie. I'm gonna say one movie that I was looking at. It was on a list that I saw, and I was like, oh, I hadn't thought about it animated, but you could argue it's animated, which was that came out a couple of years ago. Something monster. It's with Liam Neeson plays this big tree monster.
We got a following.
Hey, thanks, Satan 16.
Satan or Slayton?
Slayton, maybe. Sorry. You know what movie I'm talking about? The monster.
It was Liam Neeson with the monster.
Call a monster or Monster Calls. Monster Calls.
Yeah, the one that looked like Groot.
The one that looked like a giant Groot. Yeah, and it was in a list that I saw that said animated. I was like, okay.
So in that case, we're going like fully animated, not like half animated, half live action. Is right? Do you have any live action on your list? I don't have any live action on my list.
None of my movies are, you could argue, they're all basically animation.
Yeah, and I considered one movie that has some live action in it and decided that I didn't want it on there. So yeah, it's all full animation.
Yeah, but if you have any suggestions and opinions
on my list,
shout them out. Twin Temp says this is the format of the show: news, distractions, we watch trailers, more distractions, topic, Will finishes talking, Art doesn't know what to say, more distractions, show ends. Yeah,
that's true.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, stop motion is definitely, by the way, because Hood wants to know stop motion. Yeah,
stop motion is definitely in it, and we are doing international movies. It's not just American movies, so anime is included.
Cool. So let's start at the top. Let's start with your 17.
My number 17, and I feel like some people might be upset that it's. I feel like some people might be upset that a few of my lower ones are this low, but my number 17 is going to be Anastasia.
Okay, not on my top list at all.
Okay, that Anastasia is one of those rare non-Disney movies that
feels like a Disney
movie, could actually pass for a Disney movie. A lot of people think it's a Disney movie. It's not a Disney movie,
and it kind of technically is kind of a Disney movie now, but it really wasn't.
Well, yeah, because they bought Fox now, so technically Disney does own Anastasia. Technically, Anastasia could be a Disney princess, like so many people have wanted for so long. But as far as like its production, I guess we're defining non-Disney as movies that were not produced by Disney or Pixar or anything under the Disney banner.
Yeah.
So, Anastasia is my number 17. I always thought that it was a pretty movie. It was they really upped the ante on their animation in it, because their animation had not been that good up until that point, and they really pulled it off.
Yeah, I think it was. It was very visually. It's a very good movie. Yeah, I don't know. It's never been one of my top movies, but I do remember seeing him go, no, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
But cool. My at the end of my list, for me, are the Lego Batman and Lego movie. The Lego movie and Lego Batman, I put those two together for me.
Yeah, you know how we were talking about once we started talking about it, we were going to go, oh, I forgot about that. I totally forgot about those. And those are good movies. I completely agree.
Yeah, and I just put them together because I feel like they're, as a genre and as a kind of thing, they go well together.
Yeah.
Because they're both Lego movies, and I think they did. They built a brand new kind of subcategory in movies. I think that the type of animation that they did and the story and the humor is very unique to those movies. I think, and I think it worked really well. So I thought, and the visual style is amazing.
I love that it's CG animated, but it's animated to look like stop motion.
But yeah,
because it's what it would look like if Legos were actually moving.
And I think they were heavily influenced by a lot of fan films that people have been making with Legos, so stop motion movies. They wanted to take that feel and that look, but then do something bigger with it. And I think they could have done stop motion if they wanted to, but I think for them it was the right choice to go with CG. But the really cool thing about the movie, technical sense, is that everything in the movie was actually built with blocks. They didn't model things; they built them in computer. So if there's a model of something, it was actually built with blocks, and that's how they assembled. In CG, they assemble models with actual.
So
Lego.
it's actual like Lego.
Yeah, they didn't just model things out. Yeah. So that was just really cool.
Have you seen Lego Movie 2 yet?
I have not yet.
It's out. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen Lego Movie 2 or Ninjago. I didn't get to see either one of those two. Because I watched it with my nephew and he went to see Ninjago without me, so I didn't see it.
Oh.
So.
Were you sad?
Yeah. Cool. What's your next one on your list?
The next one on my list is Don't Hate Me Because It's Not Higher.
Oh my God, why is this so low on your list?
Because there's so many other movies that I love.
Man. Oh, geez.
Okay. Shut up.
Sorry.
The next one on my list, number 16 on my list, is Ghost in the Shell, which is a very iconic anime. And it's an amazing movie. The reason everything on my list is amazing. There are hundreds of movies we could have picked from, and these are the top 17. We're under 20 here. So everything on here is great. The reason that Ghost in the Shell is not higher is because I feel like a lot of the things that I love about it are scene specific. The movie as a whole has parts that kind of drag, and sometimes I fall asleep while I'm watching it. But there are those iconic moments in it that really are just beautiful animation, beautifully shot. The background paintings in it are gorgeous. The story is great. So yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell is actually on my list. I will just tell you, it's number 1. Where is it? Where did I put it? Oh, I don't know. I didn't put numbers on mine, so it's a little bit down the list. It's about.
Well, you can just bring it 9. Back up. You can just mention it when we get.
I'll get there. Yeah. Cool. So my next on my list for me is I grouped the movies. The How to Train Your Dragon series. I think for me that's been a really. Did you forget about that one too? I didn't
forget about it. Here's the blasphemous thing. I've never seen any of the How to Train Your Dragon movies.
They're very good movies because in a time where, and specifically for these movies when they came out, I think why is that these movies came out in a time where there was a lot of really bad CG movies. I like, and I get that a lot of those movies are really targeted for kids and they're meant to be stupid popcorny versions of popcorn movies, like the Smurfs and the really dumb ones that adults really hate. I get that they're meant for the kids and kids love them, but these did a really good job at doing the thing where like you made a kids movie that you can watch an adult and really get into. It doesn't talk down to you. It shows you.
It's great that it's not set in New York.
It's great. Yeah, one. It's not. The dragons ended up in New York.
We're doing that. Everything was in New York.
So I think the series is very good. Did the stream die?
Oh no.
I'm still here. It says we're leave. Oh wait, never mind.
Woo, don't scare us like that.
Hard green over there. I got distracted. Oh, so yeah, so I think they're very good movies. You should definitely watch them. I think you really enjoy them.
I think I would enjoy them too. I for some reason haven't. I'm that continuity guy where I have to see the first one and I missed the first one and I just never caught up to the rest of them. So
yeah, so they're fan, and they also had a really. I wish these shows would tour on forever. The How to Train Your Dragon live show was so good. It has nothing to do with the movies, but it's kind of. They had a live arena show which it's the same people who did the Walking with Dinosaurs tours, and so they had these like beautiful, huge dinosaurs or like dragons that walked around. Some flew around. It was great. I actually got to do a backstage tour and I got to touch all of them, and like look at their little mechanism, how they puppeteer and stuff. Good point. How to Train Dragon series is exiled from my list. It's false advertisement. I learned nothing about training an actual dragon from it. It was more like how to ride and consistently keep villains from harpooning your dragon. Okay, true. False advertising. I do agree with that. Cool. Next on your list.
The next one on my list is Rango.
I never saw Rango.
It's really cool. It's a Western And it's directed by Gore Verbinski, who's known for like the American Ring remake and the first few Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Yeah. So the direction is really well done. The CG is beautifully done. Like the rendering of these characters is amazing. The whole Western atmosphere is really cool. The action is great. It's just it's like if you were to take a Pirates of the Caribbean, like the action of a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, put in a good story, and just make it like a shit ton of fun.
Sorry guys, I'm looking to see if it's us on our end, the network connections. I don't think it's on our end. I think on our end it says we're good.
We're green on our end.
So let me know if you guys see it. We're uploading really well right now. Yeah, and back to the company that created the animals for the dragons for that. They also did I don't know if you saw the opening ceremonies to one of the Olympics. I think it was the Winter Olympics where they had the giant teddy bear. He was like,
oh yeah, I remember
super
that.
Big. Yeah, they made those. They also made the King Kong on Broadway. Yeah. It's called Global Creatures. I think they're from South Africa. It's on Twitch's end then. It might be. Yeah, because we're good now. I'm looking at
we haven't restarted the stream again, so if you guys are catching us in and out, then I think it's on Twitch.
Oh yeah, Harlan says it's weird. I'm only having issues while using the web browser and not through the app. Twitch might be having issues today. Cool.
What's number
my next one
on yours?
My next one is okay. This is where we get to maybe you could argue this one. I realized.
Okay.
But I think it is because I think you're gonna go. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Is Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
So you do have some live action. You told us you didn't have live action.
I realized when I looked at my list that I had. Nah.
But it's Touchstone.
Oh, I guess it's
so it's not
Disney.
Like
that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot
because I wouldn't have put. I would have if we were doing Touchstone. I definitely would have put Nightmare Before Christmas on my list. But that's
okay,
Disney.
I've been chopped.
That's
okay.
Disney.
Go on next movie then, sir.
My next movie, Hardliner hopes A Scanner Darkly is on the list, so we shall see.
We shall see.
We shall see if it's on the list.
They also said they hope Secret of the Nim is on the list, and American Tail was mentioned earlier.
Okay. We shall see if those are on the list. My next movie on my list is The Thief and the Cobbler. Have you ever seen that? It's a very, very indie movie. It was done by Richard Williams, who coincidentally animated on Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, yeah. But we weren't allowed to talk about it.
We weren't allowed to talk about that. And I believe he also did he was head of animation on Enchanted. I believe. I had to double check that. But anyway, most of the Thief and the Cobbler, it took forever for him to make. It came out in the 90s. It took forever for him to make because he animated most of it himself, like literally. Oh, wow. And it's astounding, like the amount of detail that is in this movie. It's one of the probably one of the most detailed animated movies I've ever seen. There's so many patterns just going in and out of things. It's really cool, and it's kind of a precursor, not by much, but he was working on this before Disney's Aladdin came out, and there are a lot of similarities between it. So it's kind of a precursor to Disney's Aladdin, which he did not work on. So
I think I remember a little bit of that then. There. Yeah. Slayton16 says, Perception Studio, what is the name of the studio that did the How to Train Your Dragon show animatronics? Is it Creature Technology Company? I think it's Global Creatures, I think is what the company is called. Global Creatures. Global Creatures is, I think, who did that. Yep, Global Creatures. Keep saying Global Creatures, yeah. That's the name of the company.
Is it Global Creatures?
It's Global Creatures, yeah. I've been following them for a while.
Kevin would say is taking your back, saying technically Roger Rabbit has shared rights, so it's only kind of Disney.
See? So maybe I was kind of right. Cool. My next one on my movie is Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Okay.
Which is a Wallace and Gromit movie. I would have liked to put the other ones in there, but those are more shorts.
They're short.
This is its first movie, and I love all of Wallace and Gromit because it's stop motion, but their stop motion is very, especially the Wallace. It's Aardman. animation, but specifically Wallace and Gromit is this one particular animator. I can't remember his name right now, but they do all of it is so very classic animation, classic stop motion animation, because he actually uses like clay and a lot of the things. They do have the little models, but he likes to animate the face with like clay and because he animates the full motion of the mouth, because a lot of modern animation still does the face replacement, where they replace pieces or faces. He still animates plastilin and things like that. So it's
Nick Park is the director.
Nick Park. So I thought that was such a great movie. I was really glad that I got to see a full movie of Wallace and Gromit, because I love him a lot, and I was really enjoyed it.
That was a really fun movie. I remember enjoying it.
It's very cute.
I only saw it once, but it was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reason that this topic is that we're doing non-Disney animated movies today is because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse just won, and there had been some controversy in the last couple years that a lot of the Academy voters don't actually watch the animated movies. They'll just go down the list and pick whatever Disney or Pixar movie is nominated that year.
That's why they always win.
Right. So the fact that Spider-Man Into Spider-Verse won, number one, it's amazing. So it should have won. But the fact that it won had me think, we should go through some of the other non-Disney animated movies that are really great. And I believe Curse of the Were-Rabbit was nominated
I think so.
but it didn't win.
I think all of the Armin movies have been nominated at this point. But none of them ever won.
Yeah.
Harlina was said, so it's claymation animated or not? Yes. Claymation,
yes.
It's a stop motion animation. Yeah, that's all. It's animation. Anything non-live action. Well, yeah, I guess. I was gonna say puppetry. I don't know if that counts. I guess that counts as live action.
I would count puppetry as live action.
Yeah.
Puppetry is
it's animation, but it's a different type of animation.
Yeah. It's being caught as it happens on a camera, as opposed to being created step by step.
Yeah. So I guess step by step maybe would be a good. No, because I don't know. we'll call it as we go. We don't have a good description for it. What's your next one?
The next one on my list is Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Okay. I like Mr. Yeah, Harlina says like Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yes. Just like Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah, so that one is stop motion animation, and that does count.
Yeah. It's Fantastic Mr. Fox is just like such a beautiful movie, and it's so like Wes Anderson already has very stylized look to his movies.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to take, there's something flying around in here, for him to take his style and put it on animation just makes it that more fantastical.
Mm-hmm.
So it really works. And all the voice acting in it is really great too. Isle of Dogs, which came out last year, was really beautiful, but it had so many. There was a big problem in it for me that kept me from really enjoying it, which was that it kind of, for a movie to take place in Japan, it othered Japanese people.
Yeah.
It was really weird. It was really weird. But the movie itself was absolutely beautiful. The animation in it was beautiful. But I'm going to have to go with Fantastic Mr. Fox over that one.
Harlan said, yeah, Clooney's character made me cry at times. Yeah, it was a very, very good movie.
Yeah.
My next one on my list is a grouping.
Ooh, a grouping.
Please don't yell at me. It is a very general grouping, and I will explain to you why. Reason number one to grouping, because I already had too many movies on my list. So this was just the easiest. I grouped Akira and Ghost in the Shell together.
Okay.
Because I do think they're both fantastic movies. And they're definitely movies that I saw when I was young, and it blew my mind.
Yeah.
It was at a time where I was very easy influenced, and so I was sitting there like this, this is amazing. I grouped them together because I thought they're both anime. They're both kind of like in this like futuristic sci-fi kind of like world, and they're serious anime. They're not like happy fun anime. They're very serious, very like adult anime. So that's why I grouped them together. But I think they were both they came out around for me, I watched them out around the same time, and they were very influential in a lot of how I watch things. So I think that's why they're on my list. And they do something that I think American animation still struggles with, which is doing serious things things that you could film as a live action.
Yes.
And make it doing them with anime, and I think it does. There's a lot of things to say that Japanese animation is being able to do these things that if an American movie would have a hard time making a movie like this. American movies animation aren't taken as seriously. If they're animated, they're not taken as seriously.
Yeah, these are movies that are not like American cute.
Yeah,
because America goes very much into this is animation, so we have to gear it at least a little bit, if not fully, to children. Whereas the Japanese don't really think of animation that way. I mean, there's lots of animation for kids there, but animation there is really an art form all its own.
Yeah, it's just another medium for them. It's not just for kids or families. Cool.
A Ghost in the Shell without Scarlett Johansson? No thanks.
She just made it better though. Like that when that version came out, it was so much better.
No sarcasm. Sorry, I gotta fix my.
Oh, you guys, we fixed the screen. You guys noticed yesterday the weird stuff we fixed?
Yeah, there's no green stuff on the TV anymore. So glad to have gotten my TV fixed.
What's next on your list?
The next on my list, speaking of really cute American animation, we're going to get into cute American animation. The next one on my list is The Chipmunk Adventure.
Okay.
Which is the first feature-length movie that Alvin and the Chipmunks ever did. And it is really cute, but there's something about it that is just more than nostalgic. Like, it is nostalgic for me, but it's just so well made because many of the Disney animators left. I forget exactly why, but they left Disney at this time.
Disney. That's why they left, because Disney.
And they ended up working on The Chipmunk Adventure. So The Chipmunk Adventure has amazing animation in it. The two villain characters specifically are my favorites. And all the music and the way that the characters are choreographed to all the music everything is so much fun.
I was hoping Amber was was watching the show. She loves this movie. I totally forgot about this movie too.
It's such a good movie. It's like a feel good movie. It's definitely not a Ghost in the Shell horror killer.
No.
But you will have a good time watching this movie, and it will stick with you.
Thank you, Hardliner. Oh, thank you for doing that. I was gonna try to put up posters as we went, and then I realized it was gonna be very slow for me to do that. So I have another way to figure out. I figured out how to do it for next time. Megalo Blazeman asks, isn't there a villain that looks like a twisted, angry Sharon Stone? Yes, that is a very good description of her. She does look like I bet that she was modeled after Sharon Stone, actually, thinking about it. All right, next movie on my list is Beavis and Butthead Do America. Okay. I love that movie. For me, I was one of the teenagers who grew up with Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, me too. I hated them at first. It was like I couldn't stand them, and then one day I watched them, and something clicked in my head, and I went, "Oh my god, this is amazing! This is amazing! It's such a good show." I think it's once I realized that the show wasn't stupid; they were stupid. Yes. And the whole world around them was normal. The whole world around them was just the world animated, and they were the ones who just didn't understand the world and how it functioned. Right. And so when this movie, first of all, when this movie came out, the animation was wonderful. They did a really good job of upgrading what they had done on the show and really giving you a film version of their cartoon. I got to go to the red carpet premiere for that. Well, that kind of influenced me a little bit. It's just a friend. How did that come across? Yeah. It was a friend of mine in high school won tickets on K-Rock, and we were at a bowling alley doing an event with the marching band, and he was like, "Hey guys, I won tickets for the Beavis and Butthead. It's tonight. Does anybody want them?" I said, "Yes." And I at the time, my family didn't have a car. I had no idea how I was going to get there, but I was going to go. Figured out how to get there. Got to go. We did it at the Chinese Theater at one of what was called at the time. It was Man's Chinese Theater at the time, I think. Where they do all the Hollywood back in the day. And so we did the red carpet, and I got to go see it. It was great. But I think it was a good movie. I think it was very fun, and I really enjoyed it. I only have seen that movie once, and I don't remember it very well. I have the soundtrack. It had a great soundtrack. Art, why? I'm sorry. I will say that I am a big fan of Mike Judge, though, the guy who created Beavis and Butthead. And you're absolutely right in that, like, they just don't. They're the stupid ones. The world around them is not. Yeah, which is what's great about them. I love the other series that Mike Judge has done. Well, I'm not sure if he actually worked on it, but spun out of Beavis and Butthead was Daria, yeah, which was an amazing show. Mm-hmm. Like she's such a great character, and her sarcasm and wit.
And then the other Mike Judge show that is so good. If you have never watched King of the Hill,
so good.
It's such a good show. So yeah, I really appreciate Mike Judge's work. Maybe I need to go back and watch the Beavis and Butthead movie again.
Yeah, I think you should. It's a very good movie. It's just a road movie, so it's super fun. They go all over the U.S. and they get into a bunch of trouble. It's really fun. But yeah, Silicon Valley. Yeah. Is Mike Judge the Silicon Valley?
I believe he did. I never actually watched it.
Because I watched it. I'm not caught up, but I watched like 3 or 4 seasons of it. It's really good.
Yeah.
Danny got me to see it. He was like, "You should watch." He spent like months. You should watch it. I was like, okay, I'll get to it. And then finally, we were building puppets one day, and he just put it on. I was like, I couldn't stop watching it.
Okay, so that's another show for me to add to my list because I have not seen Silicon Valley.
I love Bobby Hill. He's my favorite.
Bobby Hill is amazing.
That's not a chill purse.
The whole cast of characters is really great.
Okay, what's next on your list?
Next on my list is Triplets of Belleville. God, we haven't even gotten to our actual top 10.
I know, that's why I'm trying to.
This might have to be like a two. We can do a 2 episode.
We'll see what time Danny's ready to go.
Yeah. So the next on my list is Triplets of Belleville, which is a French animated movie and is very, very, very stylized and cool.
It's very cool.
It's so cool. And what's really one of my favorite things about it is that I love silent stories. As a comic book creator, I love writing and illustrating stories that don't need a lot of lettering. You just can see what's happening through motion. And for an animated movie, that's even greater because
thank you, Hardliner.
Since it's such a visual medium, to tell your story without a lot of dialogue, which this movie has hardly any dialogue, is just incredible. So yeah, Triplets of Belleville. If you have not seen it, I definitely recommend.
Okay, my next movie on the list is one of them that you were asking for. The chat was asking for. Somebody in the chat was asking. This is American Tail.
Okay.
American Tail, I think definitely one of my. I love the Don Bluth, that section of animation and time that was they did a bunch of really good stuff, and American Tail was one of my favorites. There was a sequel which I also liked, not as much as the first one.
There's like 3 or 4 sequels.
Yeah, but
now.
It's like Land Before Time.
Oh my God, Land Before Time.
There's a billion of them, but the first one's amazing.
The first Land Before Time is amazing,
which is not on my list.
It's actually not on my list either, but it is an amazing movie. I think I only have one Don Bluth movie on my list, and that comes up later.
But yeah, so
oh no,
none of them. You cut it, did you?
I cut my Don Bluth movie. It's not on here.
So honorable mention, also Land Before Time.
Yeah,
but yeah, American Tail was my favorite.
Wait, Anastasia was my Don Bluth movie. That's why. Okay,
but you put it at the end.
Yeah.
But I watched it as a kid and I enjoyed it very much, and I thought it was a very beautiful movie. I think I tend to like really hone in on like movies that are about families, and I think it's just because the way my family worked, and I always movies about families and stuff really as a kid.
And American Tail is also about immigration.
Because I'm an immigrant. Can't keep me out now. I'm gonna say this now.
Yeah, I enjoy American Tail. That was one. Both American Tail and Land Before Time were both movies that I had on repeat on my VHS as a kid.
And the music's great in it.
The music's great. And since we're talking about Don Bluth, like someone else wanted to hear about Secret of NIMH, which is not on my list.
Ooh,
is it on your list?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't jump the gun
Basement
there.
says South Park bigger, longer, and uncut, and Jetsons movie I throw on my list. I hadn't even thought of the Jetsons movie.
I haven't thought of that in forever.
Oh, that would have been good.
Jetsons movie was good, but you know what else I loved when I was little? Do you remember the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones?
Yes.
Where they actually crossed over? That like blew my mind as a kid.
Didn't make any sense.
That was, but that was like...
It's described.
I can't believe that I forgot about those movies. I literally have not thought about those movies in years, and now I kind of want to watch both of them back to back.
What's next on your list?
Next on my list is another Japanese movie titled Paprika.
I almost put this on my list.
It's amazing.
But I was like, I remember loving this movie, but then going, I don't remember what it's like. I just remember being like, my eyes were like, what is happening?
Surreal.
I need to watch it again.
It's so surreal as fuck.
And the music's beautiful.
I'm gonna go along with you and say that I don't think that I could actually tell you what the storyline is. Like I know it in my head, but I can't formulate it because it's so surreal.
It's like you experience this movie.
It's an experience. You definitely, if you have not seen Paprika, definitely check it out. Yeah. It came out in 2006, and it is some of the most beautiful animation I've ever seen because there's so many tricks that it plays on your eyes that you're just like, what the fuck?
It's very visually. It's kind of like what Inception did, like a bunch of weird stuff, and it like visually like it's kind of that feeling, but in animation. They did a bunch of really cool weird animation stuff. Music is great.
Yes,
it's very like electronic kind of music, and it's fantastic. If you just go listen to the soundtrack, out on its own is fantastic.
I'm happy to hear that you like Paprika.
I did. I saw it at Junior.
That's cool.
I think it was Kevin Nose who brought it in.
Oh, okay. I was just about to say, who the hell brought Paprika that wasn't me into the green room?
That's why I say Paprika, because that's how he said it.
Paprika.
Uberbaldi wants to know what we're discussing today. Non-Disney animated movies. Welcome to the show.
Do we want to do a recap of what we went through
No, because we're late.
What are we going to...
Okay, go recap.
Yeah, we're not going to finish... We're going to finish this next week. We're not going to get to this whole list.
Okay.
So...
We might, actually. We'll see. Because we still got 20 minutes.
But
no, we don't. That's the screen. What is happening to my phone? What does my phone say? It's 9:41.
It's 7:49, so we've got about 10 minutes. So we're not going to finish tonight.
You guys, my phone is like crazy. It says it's 9:41. What time is it?
7:49.
My phone's stupid. Let me unplug it. I don't know what's happening to my phone. No, it is. No, it's fine.
Oh,
that's weird.
So to recap, we're going. Both Art and I have 17 movies or groupings of movies on our list of the best, what we consider the best non-Disney animated movies. So far on my side of the list, I've gone through Anastasia, Ghost in the Shell, Rango, The Thief and the Cobbler, Fantastic Mr. Fox, The Chipmunk Adventure, Triplets of Belleville, and Paprika.
Cosmo Hood says, what about Aeon Flux and Redline?
Well, Aeon Flux was a show.
And I loved.
Yes, Aeon Flux is one of my favorite animated shows of all time.
Yeah.
It's
it made me super uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah,
because animation was like it was a part of that block. What was it called? The Liquid Animation.
Liquid Animation.
Is that where the Max was? The Max on there too?
Yep, on MTV.
Yeah, the Max and Aeon Flux.
Early MTV animation.
And is it Big Head or The Head? The guy with the big hair with the alien living inside of that. Oh, I love those.
I totally forgot about that.
Coraline said Art was briefly in the future. I was, and then I unplugged my phone and I came back.
But Aeon Flux, the movie, the live action movie, with Charlize
Theron. I don't think I watched it because I was like, nope.
I watched it and I was like, it was an interesting movie, but it was not Aeon Flux.
It was just some sci-fi movie.
Yeah,
because Aeon Flux it had a very specific feel and look that I don't think live action could have done it justice, or a very stylized director who pushed it.
It would have had to be pushed a lot, and it still would have fallen short. There's a lot of things that the animated show does that you could not easily pull off in live action. But the only thing that I really wanted from the live action movie was to see her little hair curl.
Yeah,
and they didn't even have that. Like, how could you not? Oh, that movie upset me. And it wasn't necessarily a horrible movie, but it was upsetting.
And just her like mannerisms and how like she was like this like weird like super athletic but like also like spidery lady, like she did all this acrobatic stuff that the movie's just kind of like we're doing flips and we're doing that. It was not great. Okay, next on my list. Oh, I guess
you don't want to do your recap real quick?
Oh, my recap. The Lego Movie and Lego Batman were was one movie. The How to Train Your Dragon series is what I did next. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which I was next because I was told it's kind of Disney.
Kind of Disney.
Curse of the Were-Rabbit. It's a Wallace and Gromit Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Akira and Ghost in the Shell. Beavis and Butthead Do America. American Tail.
Cool. On
to my next one is The Secret. I'm thinking I probably should have put this higher, but The Secret of Kells.
Okay.
I love that movie. It's so The Secret of Kells is a movie. But it's all like Celtic stuff.
It's an Irish production.
Irish production company,
yeah.
And it's a story of this little boy who, if I remember right, they live in like this town, and there's like enemies coming, and he is like an apprentice to like a somebody who does writing, and all this magical stuff happens. But the animation style was so beautiful, and it's such a great story. Music was wonderful. And so I think it's a really good movie. You guys should definitely check this movie out. I feel like a lot of people have not seen Secret of Kells,
which is weird to me because like all of the movies they've done the same production company has done 3 movies so far, and Secret of Kells is the best of the 3, although all 3 are good. And it was also nominated for the Academy Award. So I feel like a lot of people, I don't know, it seems like it broke into the mainstream. At least I thought it had, but I guess not.
And apparently we just got rated. Did we get?
Oh, sweet!
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you so much for the raid.
Yes, thanks for the raid.
My notifications aren't showing up. Thank you so much. We're talking about movies, non-Disney animated movies. But yeah, I feel like Secret of Kells should have, because it was out there, but I don't think anybody absorbed it. There is another movie I sort of just glanced through it called The Song of.
That's another.
It's the same company. Okay, I was wondering if it was the same company because the animation style is very, and that's currently on Netflix, I think.
It's somewhere. Yeah, I remember.
Somewhere, yeah.
It's good. I don't like it as much as.
There it is, Cabby Rooster. Thank you so much. Thank you for the raid. Yay, Cabby Rooster.
I don't
play D&D also.
I don't enjoy Song of the Sea as much. It's still a good movie, but I don't like it as much as Secret of Kells.
Yeah.
And then that was their second movie, and their third movie is The Breadwinner, which was it's about wartime. I don't know the specifics.
Okay. Well, look
I'm not gonna get into it, but yeah, they got those 3. The Secret of Kells is not on my list, but it almost was. Like, I love Secret of Kells. Like Art said, the style of it is gorgeous. Like the animation is so. It's kind of cool because it's the movie feels flat. Like it almost feels like they could be cutouts. They're not cutouts, but it feels like they're playing on this flat plane.
Yeah.
And so that because of that, it creates a different kind of design dynamic when it comes to characters and the way they move and the way they interact with backgrounds, and it's really cool how they pull it off. So yeah, Secret of Kells is great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Cool. Let's do you want to stop there?
Yeah, let's stop there
because we have a whole half of another list that we want to talk about, and rather than just rushing through it, we're gonna jump into the next show, into next week, and we can talk about it because there's a bunch of movies you guys have been mentioning, and I want you guys to. We want to see if some of the movies you guys have brought up I hadn't even thought about. And now I'm going, oh, I wish I put that in my thing. Or some of the movies you guys have mentioned are actually on my list.
Somebody just mentioned, who was it? Jucosaurus Rex mentioned Brave Little Toaster. Also, Twin Tam Tam mentioned Brave Little Toaster. I strongly consider putting Brave Little Toaster on my list, but Brave Little Toaster has serious ties to Disney.
Oh, it does, yeah.
So that's why it didn't make it on my list, but I think that Brave Little Toaster is an amazing movie.
Yeah, I mean, talking about animated movies without talking about Disney
it's kind of hard sometimes.
Because some of I hate to say it, but some of my favorite movies are Disney. Like, I love The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
It's all-time, like, big movies that I'm like, I can't talk about that, but I have so much to say about The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah. There are Disney movies I love, too. Like, yeah. But that's why... Those are the movies that get talked about the most.
Yeah.
So that's why we wanted to talk about some that don't, that might not get as much recognition as the Disney ones.
Okay, so if we had to pick your one Disney movie, if you say, so you
what's
can have one.
What's my favorite Disney movie?
You can add one. I don't know if that's a question, but what's your one Disney movie you would put on your list here?
If I could include a Disney movie, my one Disney movie would probably be Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty, okay.
Because the visual design of it is just outstanding. The artist that designed it, Ivan Earl, his work is amazing. Are we out?
Yeah, we're out.
Oh.